shooken up in the NFL with all the free agency, the trades, the wheeling and dealing that's been going on. And with that, another meaningless list, the mock draft. It's not even probably as good as the paper it's printed on. Let's light it up and burn it. Like Todd McShay and Mel Kiper. It's like, I got a new list. Sherman's been traded. It's like, oh, I got to get another list. So who do you guys think the Browns are going to take now that they really don't need a quarterback? That really doesn't mean anything, does it, Clint?
No, not really. I mean, with the Tyrod Taylor, you kind of got to go Saquon Barkley with the first pick now because you have an established quarterback.
You got a bridge quarterback if nothing else.
So you have an established quarterback there now with Tyrod Taylor. So you got to take. I would say. I mean, he's the best player in the draft. All the physical tools and attributes and everything that he brings to the table. Mm-hmm. I would bring Saquon Barkley in at 1, and then figure out who you're going to get at 4. Whether it's another defensive player now, being that you do have Tyrod, or do you take and run that risk if you are in love with Josh Allen? But you got to be in love with either Allen, Rosen, Mayfield, or Darnold, all the same. If you're gonna, take that risk to, lose out on one or the other by the 4th pick.
I was watching a lot of. There's this stigma about rich kids that come into the NFL, guys that come from money. Mm-hmm. Josh Rosen's grandmother started the Wharton Business School. Obviously, tons of money. Dad is one of the most sought after surgeons in the LA area. So he's from a lot of money. No. So people use that actually against them because they've been brought up in money, and they're like, do you really want it? And the fact that Johnny Football not too long ago, oil money, you know what I mean, that it's not going anywhere. But Josh Rosen's argument was that should mean I want it more because I don't have to do this. You know what I mean? So what do you think about that stigma that they put on players about?
Well, there's all types of stigmas that you put on players.
But they say you're basically not hungry.
Yeah, well, and in certain aspects that's true, but you can't put that on every person as being the same kind of person. Was it true for Johnny? Probably. I mean, he came in, he wasn't taking it serious. But football is all he had known, and that was kind of his thing. Josh Rosen, that might be all that he knows. This might be his thing. He may be passionate enough to say, look, Dad, Mom, I got my own thing. I'm making my own money. He may not. This doesn't work out. Guess what? Daddy probably has a job for him somewhere.
Guess who else came from money? Who's considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time?
Who's that?
Peyton Manning.
That's very true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Two great quarterbacks.
And he's one of the greatest, brightest minds and one of the hardest workers inside the film room ever.
He came from money because his dad was doing the same thing that he was trying to do.
Still
but
came from money.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
that you kind of, but that's a different chip on your shoulder in my retrospect. When Daddy is who you're striding to be. Like you want to.
Well, he only had to play 2 seasons to be better than Archie.
Well, yeah, he lapped him. That's for sure. Hell, at this point, it's an argument on whether Eli's lapped him.
He's only saying that because the first season you threw 26 interceptions. So he's saying basically after that, when you cook pancakes and you throw the first one away. Right. That's what we're saying that first year was for Peyton Manning. Okay, so we've seen Baker Mayfield been working the TV circuit for NFL Network. Did you see him throwing at the targets? Is his accuracy insane? I can't believe I'm starting to join this Baker Mayfield,
welcome aboard, fellas.
Bandwagon. You know what I mean? He didn't have to do all this. He won the Heisman. They know he has He's the most accurate quarterback in college football.
They came off and asked him during an interview, well, now that you've shown up at the combine and show that you have all the intangibles, are you still going to perform at your pro day? He said, absolutely. You can always get better. And he says all the right stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
fitting.
He's fitting
Did
exactly
what he
you want
said
a quarterback
about why he competed in every single event? He didn't have to do that. He said because he loves competition and everything's a competition.
Absolutely.
You can tell he has that switch, like that Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. The switch that LeBron took a long time. They still question it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But Kobe would openly say, like we talked about before, that he just wanted more than Shaq. You know what I mean? It's just that ultra competitive nature. And they said to Brady. Meanwhile, Brady with the Tom versus Time. Did you see they had it all set up? Episodes 1 through 5 came out bang, 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 and then 6 they had him they had it all set up for him to be winning the Super Bowl, and then they lost the Super Bowl, so they had to cut and edit and everything. So that's why episode 6 has not been out for all you guys looking on Facebook. So anyway, Baker, like I said, he's got that ultra competitive nature in him. Okay, here's the thing that's dicey for me. They told him, NFL Network, they took pieces of paper this size, put them 20, 30 yards away, whatever, and put what potential teams he might go to in the NFL. And he actually threw against LaDainian Tomlinson, right? LaDainian is a good athlete. He made LaDainian Tomlinson look...
He threw against LaDainian?
Yeah.
Okay, well, LaDainian's a running back.
Well, if it means anything,
he's still an athlete. LaDainian Tomlinson has a 72% passing rating for throwing the ball. Out of 8 passes that he completed, there's 7 touchdowns.
Yards per attempt?
I don't know the yards per attempt.
Probably 10.
But regardless, 8 completions,
I'm not saying
he threw the ball 12 times.
Here's what I'm saying.
Out of 8,
here's what I'm saying. Like when Mike and Mike were on the air, right? Yeah. They would make fun of Golick all the time, blah, blah, blah. But Mike Greenberg says, you don't realize, because to be a professional athlete, how good of an athlete. They said, I tease Golick, but every single thing we play, he's just naturally better than me. He's a natural athlete. Until you have that moment in school where you go up against that one person where you're like, holy crap. Like, we went to a school like Maurice Claret. One time he showed up. Yeah, it happened real fast. Like, that guy is different. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm saying that with this, he went up against LaDainian Tomlinson, who is an athlete. He is a good athlete. He's not going up against Rich Eisen, who looks like an idiot running in his suit and some Nikes. You know, running a 6'5" 40.
He's made it his own thing, and it's gained ground year after year.
So he goes, like you said, Tomlinson can throw the ball. You know what I mean?
Not bad.
So Tomlinson looked uncoordinated throwing the ball compared to Baker. He was zinging it, and you could tell as soon as he cocked back, he's a nut job as far as competition.
What's the girl's name?
I forget.
I don't remember. The girl came off. She goes, "Are you trying to break the paper?" Because as he was hitting it, the paper was just
slicing it.
And he goes, "I'm trying to prove a point." And like it just everything he says is right. Like that's what you need. Yeah. That's what you want to be.
And Clint gave us some stats earlier off camera about was it you about how fast they actually throw?
Yeah, it was me. Yeah. Miles per hour.
Give me who's got the most wicked. Let's go with that Tom Brady, New England type way. Wicked. Who's got the most wicked spiral?
The most wicked was it was Allen. He was at 57.
Oh, that's a shocker.
He was at 57 miles per hour, and I mean there was a couple guys right in between that area, but Baker Mayfield was 56. The lowest, oddly enough, was Lamar Jackson. He was at a 49. No, I wouldn't say lowest, period, but lowest for these quarterbacks. The top 5 quarterbacks coming in.
I do believe Brett Favre was clocked before, and I think he's over 60.
Yeah.
So they're still not Brett Favre.
Right.
And when they were talking,
nobody will ever be.
When they were talking about when they were talking to Mayfield, they asked him what type of questions, because there was questions that came up this week. One was with one of the recruits. Do you like men?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what?
Well,
why would you even say that?
For the reaction.
Why would you say that though?
The rebuttal or the response.
Yeah, they're seeing if they can trigger somebody into being angry. They're seeing if they can just trick them to falling off.
Personality trigger
them with
questions.
An actual football.
What are you getting out of that? What are you getting
personality
out of that?
Trigger questions. Because if someone on the football field says something to you,
prostitute. Like
that was the old Des Bryant.
Yeah, well, this is when you're in competition and you're a quarterback or a wide receiver or something in skill position, and someone says something to you, are you going to react with unsportsmanlike conduct? Is it going to throw you out of your game? So they want to make sure that
there's reason. There's reason.
So the personality trigger questions.
They said one of the questions a year or two ago was as soon as the guy sat down, first question off the bat, I heard you're a coward. Mm-hmm. That was the first question they asked the guy, like, what do you feel about that? How do you even reply to I'm a coward?
I'd be like, I'm not related to Colin.
Oh my god. If you guys want any more dad jokes, you just listen. So if they call you coward, I don't believe, you have the rest of your own opinion, but I play every Sunday, I put in my work, I do what I do, check the tape, you know what I mean? That's what they want. They just don't want you to get,
They don't want you to start screaming and yelling and getting in their shit.
Because they tried to get Baker Mayfield, and because they want to see if he's going to say something as far as risque, as far as
absolutely.
And he said the one question they asked him was weird was that if you had to golf with a foursome of people that aren't golfers, who was
an entertaining crew?
He picked
Brett Favre, Jimmy Fallon, Mark Wahlberg, and Justin Timberlake.
And the crazy thing is, I heard all 4 of those guys can really golf. I heard that actually Justin Timberlake is a scratch golfer. Jimmy Fallon is close to scratch. And Mark Wahlberg, you ever hear what he plays with golf?
No.
Okay, so Mark Wahlberg takes it to a different level. I guess he gained a lot of weight for Patriot Day.
Oh, yeah.
And then he had to lose the weight for...
right, pain and gain. Gain and pain.
Whatever it was.
With The Rock.
Anyway, so he had to lose... No, he gained weight for that one. He had to get back down for Transformers or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Regardless.
Right.
He plays 36 holes speed golf before he even goes to work in the morning. He gets his caddy to hold it, and he just hits the ball, runs full speed to the ball, hits it 36. I'm like, how the hell do you do that?
That's interesting. That's a good workout. And you're competing.
So as soon as I heard about that foursome that he picked, I immediately thought of you, Clint, because that sounds like that was your foursome that you would pick to go. You know,
it wouldn't be a bad one, that's for sure.
Anybody you would switch out on that top four?
Maybe Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
Maybe Jimmy Fallon.
Who would you substitute him with?
That's marketing.
It's got to be somebody who actually
right now, the fact that he picked Jimmy Fallon guarantees he's going to be on the late night show.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's marketing. Right?
And if he's going to the Jets?
Entertainment-wise, I would say Bill Burr. If you're going to swap out comedian for comedian, I like Bill Burr. So I
think I'd have to... the former president, Mr. Barack Obama, he plays golf.
Just because your name sounds like his.
Oh, he's the leader of the free.
You
think Bill Burr? I picked Barack Obama. Like, he's the leader of the free world at one point. Like, why wouldn't you pick the leader of the free world?
Well, I'm switching out comedian for comedian.
Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm saying anybody you could pick.
Oh God, probably Jordan. Or Tiger Woods.
That's a good one.
So.
Tiger Woods is a golfer.
He wasn't allowed to pick a golfer.
Right. Well, he hasn't been into golf for the last 5 years. But
Michael Jordan then.
I would take Charles Barkley just so I wasn't the worst guy on the course.
God. Could you imagine the shit talking? If you had
Barkley and
Jordan, who else? Reggie Miller.
What about Shaq?
And Shaq. Oh my God, that would be
a great day.
Yeah, that would be.
They said Curry. Curry's
really good. Curry's really good.
So we
like Curry.
Just like I do. I go off topic. So I'm on that Baker Mayfield thing right now. You know, he's answering all the right questions, all the right answers. So what do you guys think about Baker Mayfield? Do you guys think he's the real deal? Do you think he's overrated? Do you think he is? He straight out says he's the most accurate quarterback in the draft. So with the shakeup, now the Cleveland Browns, do you have to take Saquon Barkley?
Absolutely. And I really, really, really hope this happens because I feel it's a good fit. And I've said this before. I think that if the Saints are going to move on from Drew Brees after, say, 2 years, they make a trade up to get Baker Mayfield. And only because they kind of resemble each other and they're both the highest completion percentage. Quarterbacks coming out of college and in the NFL.
I want to touch on something real quick with Cleveland. Another reason why I think they should go with Saquon is Todd Haley's the offensive coordinator. What did Todd Haley do with Le'Veon Bell? Saquon is the closest thing that we've seen coming out to Le'Veon's potential.
With the mobile quarterback.
I just hope Saquon Barkley doesn't turn out like Reggie Bush.
And
Bush was good.
Bush was good. He's bigger, and I hope he's just sitting. The health is into Reggie.
Because when I see those two run, they remind me of each other.
A little bit. I could see that.
So do you take Saquon?
Oh, my draft didn't even change. It pretty much stayed the same. I mean, you took the same draft as me. Clint had to change it up a little bit because he had Josh Allen number 1. But I mean,
but now we're all on the same.
I'm not doing Josh Allen number 1 now after getting Tyrod.
No.
I think you gamble and wait for number 4.
If you're going to take a quarterback in there.
Yeah.
But I'm not even sure I would do that.
Right. Okay, like I said, we want to see what you guys think about the draft. Is Saquon Barkley the chosen one in Cleveland? Get a hold of us on Twitter, Instagram. We've been getting a lot of comments recently about our draft picks. And Roku TV, AMFM 24/7
radio.
We're all over it.
Yeah.
Also, tell us if you guys want to listen to us do a draft day on Facebook Live.
Even if you don't want to, I'm going to. So whatever.
All right, we'll be right back at you with a 3-point view after this.